All right, so welcome to episode 1 of the Divergent Fitness podcast. I got a special guest with me today. His name is Howard Mcbroom. Howard, how long have you and I been working out together?
Well, we've been working out together, I think, for several months now. Okay. I don't remember the exact date that we began, but I know it was sometime, I think it was last year, wasn't it? November or something?
Well, yeah, I think it was November. So what I want to do today with you is to kind of share your story with our audience. And you got a really special story, and you have a really powerful message as well. So I want to make sure that our listeners, once we have some, are going to be out there and maybe sharing more about you.
Okay.
So Divergent Fitness is primarily a fitness-based program, but we work with a lot of different types of individuals, different diverse needs, let's say. And when you came to me, I was really intrigued right from the start because, I usually work with like younger students and most of the clientele that comes to me is either on the autism spectrum or some version of that. And with you came to me for what reason? Why don't you share a little bit about yourself with the audience and why you started to come to Divergent Fitness?
Well, here's the story. I used to be able to walk almost normally. I was always poorly coordinated, but I used to be able to walk. Mm-hmm. But in October 2019, I began falling down for no reason at all, and I kept on falling. By the time the pandemic began in March of the following year, I was using a walker, and by the time of my birthday on August 1st, same year, I was in this wheelchair. What was happening, although we did not know it at the time, was that the nerves in my legs were being destroyed by an autoimmune disease that was generating some kind of protein which were covering and attacking and destroying the nerve cell in my legs and my feet. And they became almost completely paralyzed. I can stand a little bit and pivot, but I can't walk anymore. And I came to Divergent Fitness because hoping to at least keep the damage from progressing any farther. Sure. They did do an infusion on me with, I think, arrested the progression, but it could not give me my legs back.
Right.
So I came to Divergent to build up my strength, both my upper body strength and my lower legs as much as possible.
Right.
And I feel I am stronger today.
Good.
Yeah.
Initially our plan was, all right, let's stop the regression, right? But also to make your upper body stronger, because for you to get in and out of the chair, to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, you always have to grab onto things, right? So keeping the upper body strong to be able to pull and stuff. But I think we're moving in the right direction. What do you think has helped you the most so far in the short time of that we've been working together?
Well, what I think has helped me the most is building up my upper body strength. Mm-hmm. I am stronger now. I can scoot back better in my chair when I sit down. That's important.
Right.
Because I have to scoot back in my chair when I sit down.
Sure.
And I can also grip the grip bar better and pull myself up and pivot more.
Awesome.
And a lot of physical therapists recently came to my home, my building, and we're thinking maybe of having a standing frame put in so I can stand up part of the day, and maybe having some more grip bars or pole put in so I can move around better inside the apartment.
That's awesome. So what are your goals now? Like you're pretty consistent. You come in a couple days a week. You have one of our coaches comes to your house and works with you there. I definitely seen some strength gains for you. What's kind of like your goals moving forward? What are you looking to accomplish fitness-wise or movement-wise?
Well, moving forward, I hope to continue building up my upper body strength and to develop my legs as much as possible. And I don't know about walking, but I would like to be able to walk again if possible.
That would be something, huh?
Yeah, that would indeed be something. But I think they would probably have to have a breakthrough in nerve regeneration for that to happen.
Sure. So if we were able to get you up and walking, or at least stabilizing standing, where you could use like a walker or something like that, that would be something, huh?
Yeah, that would be good.
All right.
That would really be good.
We'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to do like another podcast down the road and see where we're at there.
Okay, I am an Easter Seal advocate. That's my job.
Let's talk about that. What is the Easter Seals, and what is that advocacy about?
Well, Easter Seal is a organization devoted to helping people with developmental disability, cerebral palsy, autism, and the like. And I had started working with Easter Seal in 2018, about a year before the autoimmune disease started to hit me.
Okay.
I was invited to, I was offered a job in Easter Seal by Brian. He is the program director of the South Glendale Easter Seals Day program. And I started working with them as an advocate. And what I do is I advocate for people with disabilities.
That's great.
I meet with politicians, political leaders. I tell them why we need certain things like a rate increase, and I teach advocacy on Friday. I teach advocacy. I teach public speaking on Thursday, 1 hour a week, and I also work with the Empower Hour part of Easter Show, where we teach empowerment skill to people with disabilities, and we also give them a chance to talk about issues that are important to us, and so that is my job, and that's what I'm doing with Easter Show. And also, in addition to my advocacy, I'm also very interested in violence prevention. I have a website, Mcbroom.com, and I make blogs telling about, talking about the violence today in today's society, and especially the mass shooting. And I talk about what can be done to stop them.
So we've been talking, every time you come, you always share your blog, and I love reading your blogs. And that's something that I wanted to talk about today too, because that's a really interesting topic. So why don't you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. I started making these blogs about a year or so ago. And my latest blog is about it's called Another Winner Got Murdered, and I talk about Kayla Green. She was a young lady up in Mount Vernon, New York, captain of her cheerleading team, and she was planning to go to college and become a doctor. She was an A student, smart, bright, compassionate, and her basketball team won the state championship up there, and she was in a parade. And at the end of the parade, she was murdered by a gang of girls. A 15-year-old girl stabbed her to death, and she was arrested. But there's now one less potential doctor in the world. And these mass shootings, the kinds of senseless crime, hate is overrunning the country like a forest fire.
What made you decide to focus on this? Where did that come from?
Because if we don't focus on it, number one, we're going to lose our democracy. Why should people vote for a democracy that can't protect the children from being murdered?
Right.
That can't stop people from being shot, like that Washington, D.C. thing where that guy had a tripod and started shooting randomly at people. Why should people vote for a democracy that can't protect people?
Sure.
That's number one. Number two, we have a direct interest in preventing this from happening, because if some kind of extreme right-wing authoritarian regime does come to power, they will probably do away with the American Disability Act. And the American Disability Act is fundamental to the freedom of people with disabilities. Without the ADA, without the American Disability Act, I don't see how we could even function in society at all.
Right.
Let alone make a contribution to it, let alone do what we are capable of doing. And so that gives me the greatest reason for, fighting against violence, because if this kind of mass violence doesn't stop, we're going to lose our democracy, we could lose the American Disability Act, we could lose all the civil rights gains that have been gained in the last 50 years. They don't care about our feelings, There was one woman, a teacher, who wrote a letter to one of these guys talking about how much it hurts her feelings, and he replied with, quote, "I don't care about your feelings," unquote. That's a direct quote. I don't care about your feelings. And that's exactly the point. They don't care.
Right.
They are totally motivated by ideology, right-wing ideology, and, a lot of people might go along with them if they feel that, turning back the clock maybe to the 1950s or something would restore some kind of moral center to America and make them safe to have children again. Look, I know women who say they want to have children, but they're afraid to.
Yeah.
They're scared to have children because the violence in society is so great. You send them out to public school, they might get murdered.
I have a 7-month-old, so I get it. I get it. Being a new parent again in this society is kind of tough. The world's definitely changed since the 1950s. So that's a really powerful message that you're putting out there, and I really appreciate the work that you're doing there. What do you want people to know? Give me like one or two things that you want people to know as far as the importance of, I guess, either trying to figure out ways that they can contribute to society to help stop with the mass shootings. Like what is something that somebody that really doesn't know anything about it, what can they do?
Well, first of all, please understand that gun control is important, but that's not going to solve the problem by itself by a long shot.
Right.
We need a great deal more than just some more gun control. They need it, but that by itself isn't going to stop it.
Right on.
What I would like to call for is a nationwide conference of people from all walks of life, sociologists, psychiatrists, teachers, students, victims of violence, police officers who have been killed at an unprecedented rate. We need all sectors of society to come together in a nationwide conference to talk about this problem and see what kind of solution can be found.
Right on.
And I also want people to know that hate is not the answer.
Right.
Hate does not make a nation great, and I will repeat that. Hate does not make a nation great, and destroying people's rights isn't going to bring about the kind of society that we would like to bring about. It's not going to make your society safer. It will quite simply destroy everything that America stands for. And for what people can do, we need to set a hotline that people who are fighting that hate within them can call to ask for help.
Yeah.
We need to have public service announcement stating that violence is not the answer, hate is not the answer. Don't join a gang. If you join a gang, you're going to be a loser. And there are better ways to be a winner than joining a gang and killing the winners.
There you go. We talk a lot about that. Like, what are the answers, right? Like, it's kind of hard because, we live in a society where there are a lot of the I have a lot versus the I don't have enough, and when there's a lot of imbalance between the haves and have-nots, you get things like gangs and stuff like that, because if you lack education or you lack finances and things like that, you resort to some bad things sometimes. And it doesn't mean that that's the only option, but the way that we're living today, it seems like an option, you know what I mean? And so we've talked a lot about this, during your breaks between sets and stuff, we'll talk about like how important education is and building strong family at home, that people that are healthy and happy don't don't go out there and do mass shootings, let's say. So it's like not enough to just take the guns away or whatnot, but to build a better infrastructure for better mental health, better health overall, because healthier and happier people don't do those things, right?
We need to give people the emotional skills, the social intelligence and emotional intelligence skill. They need to be a winner. I could not have done the job I'm doing today had I not gotten onto the board of directors of a Rantham Regional Center from 2007 to 2014. And working with them for 7 years taught me how winners operate and gave me the skill to be able to do what I'm doing today. If that had not happened, I would have been trapped, permanently trapped on a much lower emotional level. I would have been trapped with people who want to do good things, they want to make a difference, they're socially conscious, they're bright, determination to bring social change, but they don't have the emotional ability to back those good intentions up. They don't have the emotional ability to back those good intentions up. They would try to do things, but they would fail because they didn't have the emotional skill to make it a reality. And that's why I would have been trapped for good had I not gotten into the board of directors of the Rantham Regional. So we need to teach people the emotional and social intelligence skills they need to be winners.
Right.
Kayla Grass was a winner. She knew how to, be a leader of a cheerleader team, how to get along with people, how to be intelligent, and she could do all those things. She had the skill needed to be a winner.
Right.
And the people who murdered her, I think, didn't have those skills.
Right.
And I think that the majority of the mass shooters who kill a lot of people and then shoot themselves or whatever, they don't have those skills either. Right. If they did, they wouldn't have to resort to mass murder.
Right.
They could make good contribution to society.
Where can people go to read more of your blogs and learn more about you?
My website may be accessed at howardmcbroom.com.
howardmcbroom.com.
That will take you straight to it.
All right. And what was the latest blog that you did?
The latest blog is called Another Winner Got Murdered.
Another Winner. That's good. You always come up with good titles.
Kayla Grass. And there are also the woman who put the blogs online for me. She put pictures on top of the blog, the picture on top of the blog for Kayla is a picture of a cheerleader, and Kayla was a cheerleader. She was the captain of her cheerleading team. And the picture on the blog before that, Sacramento and Grief. I wrote that blog about the Sacramento shooting that took place recently with 6 dead and 12 wounded, apparently by 2 gangs who got into a fight.
Jeez.
And she put a picture of a memorial candle on top of that one.
Oh, nice. So howardmcbroom.com, and then, man, you've done a lot of good work in your life so far, huh?
Thank you. And then go to Violence Prevention and click on that, and that will take you to my blogs.
Okay, awesome. Well, Howard, I think that's good for today. Thank you so much for being our first guest on our podcast. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I hope a lot of people start reading my blogs.
I hope so, too. All right, guys.